It's taken a minute to let me go live. This has been interesting. Okay. And then I just watched it glitch. So that, okay. And my hair desperately needs to be washed, but that's what I do. I will do that after this. It just works better for me to do it before, or to do this before I wash my hair. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What is going on here? Okay. You're not here to watch me fuss with my hair. You are here for your spiritual power, which we happen to be in Discover a Richer Life right now. So let's do the housekeeping and then we'll get on with it. And all the housekeeping is me reminding you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website is creativelife.org. Constant contact email, info@creativelife.org. If you will email that, that gets you one email a week, tells you what's going on for the week and the month, and the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it means it. The other thing about it is it's a blind CC, which means nobody will see your email. So you won't end up on anybody else's email list because of us. And when I say one email, I mean that because it's a real person doing it and he doesn't have time for more than that. The only reason you would get more than one is if something unusual happens. As I like to remind people, we do live in hurricane country, although the storm that knocked the power out last time wasn't a hurricane. Just a bad one. So the weather can be interesting here. So that is it. So now I also want to mention the social media just ever so briefly from the standpoint of we don't monetize it. We don't want to deal with ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead is what you can do is by liking, subscribing, and following on the various platforms, it bumps us in the algorithms and more people see our stuff. It also helps if you engage with the individual pages, which is, react to the post, comment on the post, and share the post. Like I said, bumps us in the algorithms. Now, cats have this really particular way of walking that I've never noticed. They put one paw literally in front of the other one, which made me wonder if that's why it's called a catwalk, because models walk that way too. So, hey, sugar, you can come here? Or she's going to ignore me. So, apparently Dante was chasing her this morning. So, okay. I was talking about the social media. So we are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark, and I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. Like I said, free, easy way that you can support us. All it costs you is a click on the, So we are doing Your Spiritual Power, which is a collection of Ernest Holmes' more rare words. Some of the, they may not be published anywhere else. They're smaller works, like pamphlets, or what we are working on right now is Discover a Richer Life. It's actually a collection of Science of Mind articles that somebody bound together into a collection. So, and it's been very interesting. We are about to head into part 3 today. Discover Your Place in Life, and the article that we are going to do in that is Start to Live a New Life. So let's see what he has to say about Discover Your Place in Life. And because like I said, it's part 3 in Discover a Richer Life in this. So, okay. Part 3 of Discover a Richer Life is Discover Your Place in Life. All too many people go through life without ever feeling that they are in their right place, achieving a satisfactory degree of success, or enjoying good health or companionship. Yet at the same time, they see all about them others who do seem to have an adequate share of things. Does the universe play favorites? It may be said that the universe appears to favor some more than others, but only because an individual first comes to recognize the nature of the universe and avail themselves of its potentialities. To what extent does an individual consider themselves part of or outside the scheme of things? Do they feel that they are an isolated bit of life, waging a futile battle against insurmountable odds in a hostile world, or do they consider themselves to be the continual beneficiary of all the good that is available? Wherever you find yourself today, or wherever you hope to be tomorrow, depends upon what you consider to be your relationship to that which creates and sustains all things. The discovery of a new and better place in life demands a greater concept of life and the definite application of that concept in a practical way. The views expressed in the next chapters may enable you to expand your thinking so that you can permit yourself to accept your heart's desire. Okay, so the first article is Start to Live a New Life. It is available now. Let us never forget that everyone is a center of the consciousness of God, and no one is more important than another. Every person is on the pathway of an eternal evolution. We must never deviate from the two fundamental propositions of the ages. The universe is impelled by love and propelled by law. That is an interesting way to put that. These are the two great realities, and their action and reaction constitute the mystery of the universe in which we live, declaring its self-existence and filling the mind with wonder and with awe. When Jesus asked his disciples who the multitudes thought he was, they replied that some thought he was a prophet come to earth again, and some thought that he was the long-awaited Messiah. Jesus then turned to the impetuous Peter and asked, "But whom say ye that I am?" Peter, with one of those quick flashes of intuition of his, said, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus replied that flesh and blood had not revealed this to Peter, but the God indwelling had lifted the veil of sleep that hangs so heavy over the eyes of humanity, and Peter had seen what Jesus came to proclaim, the truth about humanity itself. We must penetrate more deeply into the nature, meaning, and wonder of the living Christ, not as a historic Jesus, but as that which lives and moves and breathes today in each one of us, which is exactly what Meister Eckhart said. What good is it to me that Christ was born, 16, I think he was either in the 14th or 1600s. So, and what we would say now is, what good is it to me that Christ was born 2,000 years ago if Christ is not born every day again in me? That's what Meister Eckhart said. And that's the point, is like, okay, each one of us has a Christ self. Are we living from it? Okay, back to Ernest. If God is omnipresent, God is both overdwelling and indwelling. The highest God and the innermost God are the same God. No person hath seen God, only the child hath revealed God, which child all humankind is. Not by virtue of any good thing that we have ever done are we that child, nor by any evil that we have ever done shall we lose one iota of that divinity. The dismal story of sin and salvation does not belong to the new order of thought, which is enlightening the world. The kingdom of God is at hand. I have never met, and know that I shall never meet, one single individual who, having gotten a clearance for themselves, has ever denied it to anyone else. I know in such degree as you and I condemn anyone, we are not sure of ourselves. Harmony knows nothing of discord. Love has never heard of hate. God is not acquainted with the devil. God is transcendent and immanent and omnipresent. It is only as we translate the commonplace into the terms of transcendence that we shall recognize and realize the immanence. Okay, what? It is only as we translate the commonplace into the terms of the transcendence that we shall recognize and realize the immanence. It is only when we elevate the commonplace to the mountaintops that we shall understand and enter into the transcendence. Or I would argue that basically what he's saying here is what one of our practitioners, Terry, says: every moment is a holy moment. So, for they are one and the same, equal and identical, even as the divine spirit is equally omnipresent throughout the vast cosmos, not moving, but causing everything within it to move. Every day is a fresh beginning. Every day is the world made new. And when we discover that split second beyond time that Jesus and all the great and good and wise have told us about, that moment in the eternal present when we are no longer conditioned by the past, and when anticipation of the future does not condition the present, we shall be free. Ooh, that's kind of a tall order. Let me see. What is it? That moment in the eternal present. Something to think about. So I'm highlighting it to think about it. All creation, in my estimation, exists as the expression of God, a self-expression of the infinite, the articulation of that which needs instrumentality for its own identity. Therefore, only as you and I, with wonder, reverence, and enthusiasm, identify ourselves with the living spirit, can we hope that the living spirit, through this instrumentality, shall shape the course of our existence and sing the song of eternity in us. Identified with divine givingness, the human surrendering itself to intuition shall speak the language of eternity. Okay, he's gotten a little highbrow here for me, but let's keep going. This is the greatest revelation we can have. Okay. I hope he explains it a little deeper, but okay. Find one person or child. Find one person who has become acquainted with the divine presence, and you will learn more from them than from all the books you can ever read. Now, that is true. That is true. I get that. Books are great guideposts, but they can't do the actual work. So read all the books you want, but then you actually have to go out and practice what you read. And again, that's one of the reasons why I think he called us practitioners. Because if we don't practice what we've been reading about, then what's the point of doing it? Okay, what's the point of reading it? It's like Ernest even says, sometimes we get a little too much into the theory and not enough into the practice. Okay, there is an integrity beyond ours. There is an imagination beyond ours. There is a feeling deeper than ours, and yet we are akin to it. Who listens closely to their own spirit shall hear a song no other person can sing. Oh, that's a good one. Who listens to the harmony of their own being, though they be in a desert or on the mountaintops alone, shall compose a symphony which no instrument can be attuned to, for it can be played only on the harp strings of their own heart, their own mind. There is hidden within the mind of humanity a divinity. There is incarnated in you and in me that which is an incarnation of God. This divine childship is not a projection of that which is unlike our nature. It is not a projection of the divine into the human. God cannot project itself outside of itself. God can only express itself within itself. There is and can be no such thing as a distinct or separate individual that would be separate from the universe. An individual, and he has that in quotes, just so you know, an individual, in quotes, means something separate from something else. Humanity is not an individual in God, for this would presuppose isolation and separation and disunion. Humanity is an individualization of God. And he's about to quote Jesus, so I'm going to quote it the way he says it. He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. Unity permits of no division. The altar of God will not accept the gift made in a sense of isolation, of fear, or appeasement. It is only the pure in heart, the childlike in mind, and the meek who see God. There is no arrogance in spirituality, for intellectual arrogance is spiritual blindness. The stupidity, the ignorance, the futility, and the littleness of the intellect is a crime against spirit, a denial of that sublime thing within us which waits to take flight to a more complete, more of the complete, more of the perfect. Okay. And see that right there, that's where people get anti-intellectual. That's where they, don't get too educated, because he says the arrogance of intellect. That is when we allow our intellect to divide us from our heart. To do spirituality, you need both your head and your heart. You can't do it with one or the other. Because occasionally your heart will take you places that your intellect is like, no. And occasionally your intellect will try and take you places and your heart's going, when they work together. So you have to be a little careful with that, with that intellectual arrogance, because people will be like, oh, well then, and no, that's not what he's saying. He's saying, don't let your intellect run away from you and create a division, a separation that doesn't actually exist. Okay. We're almost done. We've got a page and a paragraph left. What was it that Jesus proclaimed? I am the way, the truth, and the life. No person cometh unto the Spirit but by me. He was not talking about Jesus. He was talking about you. Jesus gave us back to ourselves. How are you ever going to consciously reach God other than through your own nature? There are no prophets other than the wise. There is no God beyond truth, and no revelation higher than the realization of the divinity within us. That which the ages have failed to reveal, you and I must reveal, each to themselves, in the secret chamber of their own heart, in the secret place of the Most High, where only and alone does one abide under the shadow of the Almighty. This aloneness is not a loneliness. It is the one all-inclusive, all-penetrating unity of everything that is. This was the claim Jesus made upon the universe, and we must do the same. Identify ourselves with the same presence, the same person, and the same principle. The mind and the spirit cannot help but generate love. Since we are one with all life, we wish to express the most life we can. Your life is my life, and my life is your life. I cannot leave you out and understand myself. I am incomplete. I am lame and blind and halt without inclusion. Our littleness, the narrow vision of our spiritual perspective, causes the horizon of God's boundless skies to press so close to us that we are suffocated by that which alone can give life. We must reverse the process. The eternal, the everlasting, the infinite knows nothing about our little ways, our petty thoughts, our little divisions and subdivisions that stifle the mind, the intellect, and the imagination. We have tried to contain the infinite in a small measure that will not hold it. We have tried to reduce the eternal to the level of the temporal, and the temporal cannot contain it. In our anguish, we have beseeched the living God to save us from limitation, but it is we alone who can free ourselves. Someday, when we come to the great reality in adoration, having surrendered our littleness, our hopes, fears, our longings, our heavens, our hells, when we come naked and clean and unafraid, then shall our horizon be extended and the night shall cease. Then shall our valleys be elevated to the mountain tops, and God itself shall go forth anew into creation through you and me, lighting our path to the indwelling city of God at the center of our own being. He just ends it with this absolutely beautiful image. The indwelling city of God at the center of our being. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It also reminds me, as we're reading that towards the end of it, I just saw a quote from Madeleine L'Engle. She wrote The Wrinkle in Time, but she also wrote a lot of very good, like Christian, I would say meditations on Christianity, which are beautiful. But she said, I wish that the church would understand that there are some mysteries that we are just never going to know in our lifetime. There are some mysteries that while we are bound in this temporal form, we're never going to know, because this temporal form, as Ernest just said, cannot contain them. And so there are some things that we are just going to have to accept. We're not going to know. And that's okay. Because when we leave this form, maybe we get to know him that way. You know, when we are not bound by time and space as we are currently in this, vehicle, maybe then we'll know them. But we don't know. And that's the challenge, is to be okay with that. That's the challenge, to be okay with that. All right. So that is, what did I say? What section are we in? I don't even remember. Start to live a new life. Discover your place in life. That's what we're doing. So, yep, whole lot of okay. So now I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a take care of yourself day, a go be with your community day, because it is Sunday today. Go be with your community day. We have community hour today, and we have a couple of visitors, so you definitely want to come and meet our visitors. And then, one of which you may have already met, because Dana's visited us a couple of times before. So yay. And get ready for the new week day, enjoy the cooler weather day, and enjoy the sunshine day, because it's very pretty out there right now. A cuddle your fur babies day, a tell somebody you love them day, a look in the mirror and see the divine looking back at you day, a ponder the mysteries day, a you got this day, a good day, and if that is too much pressure, because occasionally it is, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are spirit in motion, God in action, a brilliant light, a divine spark, a beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right, explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. And from there, anything is possible. Anything at all is possible. All right, beloveds. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I should be back with you around 9-ish tomorrow. But it is Sunday, so if you will... you can join us in person, or if you're watching this at 11, scroll up a video, or if you're watching this on YouTube, head over to the Creative Life Spiritual Zen YouTube page, and we will have an amazing service for you, because he's starting a new series today, and it should be, he always gets really, and I use the word weird in its original meaning, He always gets a little weird in October and November, so it should be good. All right, beloveds, take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.